Right after we had my son, we were building our current house. We ran into some problems, but my husband was bound and determined to have as much saved as he could. He was working 18 days a month. It was way too much. He was tired all the time. He was grouchy all the time. We had a newborn at home. We really had to sit down and be like, this is too much.
People kind of ask you, oh, when are you going to buy a house? Oh, when are you going to have kids? Oh, when are you going to do this? People don't understand the amount of debt that a physician takes on. Oh, you're a doctor now, so you make doctor money. It's not just that easy.
I know I'm not the type of person that can do it all by myself. I'm not trained in it. It was important for myself to learn the basics of how to operate my finances, how to deal with debt, all those types of things. So probably in my early 40s, I wish it had been way, way earlier.
The expense of medical school for both of us individually, we had to borrow all that money. We had a kid at some point during that. There's really no option to consider paying down on that loan during that period. So you defer it and you just literally forget about it while you're training to be a doctor, or try to just live off the salary that you have. There's this huge change when you go out into the workforce and you're offered a job. They're not paying you $35,000. They're going to pay you more than that. It's a lot more money. For us, have never lived with that kind of salary. You don't know, is that going to help me pay off my loans quickly? This is what our new employer is going to pay us. But what does that mean? Can we afford to buy a house? And that's when we thought, we're out of our element. We don't know what we're doing here. We really need some advice.
It was in medical school when I realized that I was going to need financial advice from a true professional. Just seeing the massive amount of debt I was in before I had even gotten started, I was just so in the negative. I knew I was going to need to have professional financial help.
Tackling debt was a big issue and kind of setting ourselves up for financial independence on a as soon as possible kind of schedule. Going into residency, so 6 years ago, and in my mind was going to try to do everything I could to set myself up as good as possible, just trying to understand what I could really do. It ended up being really hard to stick to that. I think not having someone to kind of personalize it along the way was hard in residency because I felt so much guilt not being able to stick within those means. I looked into even doing like a physician loan and purchasing a condo at the time, and that just wasn't going to work out. We were graduating from residency. We're like, okay, we should probably figure out how to get our finances in order.
We found Daniel and he seemed like a perfect fit because physicians are his niche. So he knows all of these issues are not new to him. They were his wheelhouse.
In regards to my student loans, once I started making my first real paycheck, Daniel's like, day one, we've got to get you to refinance some of your student loans, and we're going to be on the fast track. Let's get this stuff paid off. Having some sort of financial soundness or security can really help us make it what we want it to be and make it more why we went into it to begin with.
We know that we're covered. We don't have to worry about when we write the check, will it bounce? Because he helped us set up that.
When you start becoming financially more literate and you're making some positive head ground, it just takes a lot of stress off of your mind. It allows you to focus on your work and even more importantly, your family.